from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Bringing you the news from Sri Lanka and across the world, it's your national news broadcast on ChannelEye Rupavahini Corporation. I'm Siobhan Pereira.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Sharifa Tahir. Let's take a look at the headlines.
The deep depression to travel across the beach stretch between Hambantota and Kalmune tomorrow. Showers or thunder showers in several areas. Landslide red notices issued for 2 districts. All security sectors on alert to minimize disaster. The inaugural program to construct new houses for completely damaged houses due to the disaster and compensation tomorrow. The economy is projected to grow between 4 to 5% this year. According to Minister Anil Jayantha, no decision at all to convert funds of the Employees Provident Fund into a pension. Clean Sri Lanka Secretariat says that certain information circulated regarding the program is false. A risk of cyclone Goreti affecting a number of countries, excessive snowfall and strong winds predicted.
We now move on to those and other stories in detail, taking a look at local news first. The Department of Meteorology has announced that the deep pressure depression in the southwestern Bay of Bengal area will enter the island in the afternoon tomorrow.
It has also been mentioned that during the special disaster media briefing held today at the Department of the Government Information, the situation is expected to be normalized by the 11th of this month. Director General of the Department of Meteorology, Atula Karunanak, said that a weather system is currently located off the southeastern coast of Sri Lanka, specifically near the Potturil area. He noted that the system is causing heavy rainfall and is expected to move inland between Hambantota and Kalmune the following day, likely between 5:30 p.m. and 11:30 p.m. He mentioned that while wind speeds will be relatively low in the central hills, western slope and the southern province, other areas including Colombo could see wind speeds up to 50 to 60 kilometers per hour. He added that these winds could lead to trees falling and roofs being blown away. He anticipated a relative decrease in rainfall by the 10th, although some areas may still see over 100 millimeters. He said that the system is to weaken and its impact on Sri Lanka to minimize after the 11th.
Director
Hydrology and Disaster Management of the Irrigation Department, Engineer L.S. Suribandar, provided an update on water levels, stating that 25 out of the 73 major reservoirs are currently overflowing. He added that 24 medium-sized reservoirs are also overflowing and have had their spill gates open to manage their water levels. He warned of potential for sudden rises in water levels due to the high-intensity rain and urged residents in Ampara, Batikla, Radhapura, Polonnaru, Trincomalee, Vavuniya and the northern province to remain vigilant. Director Water Management of the Sri Lanka Mahaweli Authority, Nilantha Dhanapala, said that Mahaweli Authority reservoirs are 95% of total capacity. He specified that the Kotmale reservoir has the lowest current capacity at approximately 59%. He listed several reservoirs currently overflowing: Loggaloya, Hepola, Upper Madhuruya, Kaluganga, Kandakaduwa and Kalaweva. The engineer mentioned that spill gates in the Morogahakanda and Ulhitia have been opened to manage water levels and prevent public distress if rainfall continues. Senior scientist of the National Building Research Organisation, Dr. Vasantha Senadhira, said that red alerts have been issued for the Ududumbara Divisional Secretariat in the Kandy district as well as the New Dandahin and Walapan areas in the Nuwara district. He noted that vigilant notices have been issued in the Kandaketi area in the Badula district, Wilgamo in Matale district and the Mathurata, and Hangurankata areas in the Nuwara district. He reported that over 15,000 high-risk families have been identified and provided with safety instructions. While clarifying that immediate evacuation may not be mandatory for everyone, yet he stresses that people in danger zones must be prepared to move. Director General of the Disaster Management Centre, retired Major General Sampath Kotuegore, said that Disaster Management Centre's 117 hotline is active for emergency calls. He concluded by stating that emergency operations are being coordinated.
The 3 armed forces, police and civil security force, have been stationed to minimize damages due to floods, landslides and other disasters. According to the Disaster Management Centre, 80 teams have been engaged for this purpose. 110 dinghy boats, 56 WMZ vehicles, 6 BTR vehicles, 98 unibuffles and 14 unicorn vehicles have been engaged. The Disaster Management Centre added that 16 naval search and rescue teams have been stationed in 8 danger-prone districts, along with 15 dinghy boats, and another 125 teams with 7 commands have also been readied. 66 Air Force teams have also been stationed with 8 helicopters, 3 Beechcraft planes and 7 drones. According to the centre, 1,150 officials belonging to 23 police teams have also been engaged, which includes several teams of civil security force.
Now, the rest of the subjects of the GCE A-level examination will be held from the 12th to the 20th of this month. A press briefing held today, Commissioner General of Examinations said that the Disaster Management Centre is ready to face any emergency situation in case of floods or landslides during this period as well. The Commissioner General of Examinations, AKS Indika Kumari Lienage, said that the postponed examination will take place from the 12th to the 20th of January. She noted that a revised schedule for these examinations have been issued by the Department of Examinations of Sri Lanka, printed on a pink background. If students are unable to present their valid ID card due to loss or destruction caused by recent disaster, she stated that they will be allowed to sit for the exam using a temporary ID card. This ID should include 2 passport-sized photographs similar to those used for postal IDs. School candidates must have these certified by the principal and zonal educational director, while private candidates should have them certified by their Grama Niladhari or divisional secretariat. The Commissioner General also mentioned that the postponed Grade 12 General Information Technology examination will be held on the 11th of January from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Additionally, the Department of Meteorology has predicted rain over the next few days. The Disaster Management Centre is prepared to handle any flooding. If students are unable to reach their assigned examination centre, they will be permitted to sit for the exam at the nearest available centre.
The inauguration ceremony to construct new houses for the totally damaged houses by the Ditwa cyclone and providing compensation will commence tomorrow under the patronage of President Anurakkumara Dissanayaka. The program will be held in the Anuradhapura and Kurunegala districts. The opening ceremony to construct new houses for the people affected in Galnava, Handungama, Rajangana and Sirimapura in the Anuradhapura district and Nikavaratiya, Vitikulia, Ridhigama and Dodangaslanda in the Kurunegala district is scheduled to be held tomorrow. The Rebuilding Sri Lanka Fund, which was implemented to restore the damages occurred to the people and their property by the Ditwa cyclone, is further receiving donations. Accordingly, Chief Incumbent of Yattihalana Rajamahaviharaya, Yattogoda Venerable Mavikande Ratanapalathera has donated a private land of 10 acres to the fund. The relevant documents were handed over to the Secretary to the President, Dr. Nandika Sanath Kumanayake, yesterday at the President's office. Access roads used by 3 villages in Gammadua area have been severely damaged by landslides. About 500 families in the area faced immense difficulties due to this problem. Measures have been taken to reconstruct the roads at present. Deputy Minister Gamagedara Dissanayaka was also present at the event. Carpeting and developing a segment of the Vaddua Pothupitiya Alliya Devalaya Road commenced today. The Provincial Road Development Authority has allocated a sum of 2 million rupees for this project. A new iron bridge is being built, replacing the dilapidated bridge over Loggala along the Kandirandhanigala road. The Kandirandhanigala Rajamavata via Loggala was severely damaged by the Ditwa cyclone. Thereby, vehicular transport along the road was totally disrupted for over 44 days. The newly constructed bridge is to be vested with the public on the 10th of this month.
Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, says that the economy is projected to grow by around 4 to 5%. Joining the launch of the Policy Agenda 2026 of the Central Bank, the governor said that by the second half of this year, inflation of the country may stabilize.
Firstly, trade policy uncertainties that we witnessed at the early part of the year, financial market volatilities and geopolitical tensions dented the global economic outlook, thereby affecting domestic sentiments during part of 2025. At the same time, the country had to grapple with growing realities of climate vulnerabilities, a fact starkly underscored by the cyclone Ditwa that caused severe devastation in late 2025 in terms of loss of lives and damage to property while disrupting the livelihoods of many. With this firmly in mind, the central bank will remain committed to fulfilling its mandate of maintaining the first domestic price stability and safeguarding financial system stability. This will provide a platform for the economy to confront future challenges with great confidence, thereby achieving sustained growth and prosperity for people in Sri Lanka. According to the predictions prior to the cyclone Ditwa, inflation is expected to continue to gradually rise in 2026, reaching the target of our 5% by the second half of the year. There are both upside and downside risks to inflation rising from the devastation caused by the cyclone. Destruction of supply chains and infrastructure could hurt growth prospects, but reconstruction activities and related spending would be growth positive. There are both downsides and upside risks for the growth for this year. Continuing the growth momentum reported during the last 2 years, economy is expected to grow by around 4-5% in 2026. But there could be both downside risks and upside risks depending on the phase of implementation of especially important structural reform, as well as implementation of especially this year additional expenditure by the government on the rebuilding and reconstruction efforts. That could be growth positive. Any delays there could be downside risk as well. Nevertheless, the external current account of the balance of payment is estimated to have registered surplus for the third consecutive year in 2025. As a result, the market-determined exchange rate remained less volatile and reported a gradual depreciation during the year. Despite facing challenging conditions such as meeting obligations for servicing external debt, especially after the restructuring debt of the government, without corresponding inflows and increased demand for vehicle imports, gross official reserves hovered around $6 to 6.3 billion during the most part of the year, surpassed $6.8 billion by end 2025. So this represents the highest level of reserves recorded since the crisis and exceeds the IMF latest projection for end 2025. Phase 2 of the National Finance Inclusion Strategy and NFIS is expected to be formulated this year, which will focus on broadening financial inclusion across Sri Lanka. The new phase aims to expand access to quality financial services for underserved populations while strengthening financial consumer protection and integrating inclusive green finance. That's going beyond the inclusion, including inclusive green finance.
Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Santosh Jha, states that the Government of India will provide continuous assistance for the reconstruction of the island post-cyclone Ditwa at a media briefing held at the Indian High Commission today.
If I were to summarize 2025, I would really sum it up as a year of re-energizing and reaffirmation. Re-energizing the India-Sri Lanka bilateral agenda and reaffirming the strength of our civilizational friendship. Trust, goodwill and friendship are at an all-time high. Accordingly, Bailey bridges were airlifted from India to Sri Lanka. EAM Dr. S. Jayashankar and Foreign Minister Honorable Vijita Hera inaugurated the first such bridge constructed by Indian Army Engineering Corps in Kilinochchi along the A35 highway, which had been destroyed in the wake of the cyclone. 2 other bridges near Kandy Ragala Road is nearing completion. These are being installed by a team of 45 Indian Army engineers. In addition, Indian Army signalers, part of the Parafield Hospital team, also reconnected the severed OFC cable and restored connectivity in the Mahayanganaya region. Operation Sagar Bandhu from 28 November to 22 December delivered over 1,100 tons of relief material, including dry rations, tents, tarpaulins, hygiene kits, essential clothing, and water purification kits. About 14.5 tons of medicines and medical equipment were also provided. 60 tons of equipment and 228 tons of Bailey Bridges units were also delivered. In addition, Indian companies in Sri Lanka have contributed over $1 million to the Rebuilding Sri Lanka Fund, underscoring their commitment to Sri Lanka's recovery and long-term development. With the visit of the EAM in late December 2025, we have now shifted focus to reconstruction and rebuilding to support the efforts and packages announced by Government of India. This is a demonstration of Sri Lanka's key place in India's neighborhood first and Mahasagar policies. It is this policy that is reflected in India stepping forward with a package of $450 million. This package responds to the needs as assessed by various ministries of the Government of India, of Sri Lanka. The assistance package proposed includes $350 million in concessional lines of credit and $100 million of grants. The assistance will be multi-pronged, assisting Sri Lanka in sectors that were the worst hit. The India-Sri Lanka partnership finds itself in a historic sweet spot. It is our endeavor to further deepen this unparalleled bond in the year ahead with even closer engagements and laser focus on delivering for the benefit of true peoples.
More news regarding the weather. The Department of Meteorology states that the deep depression in the Bay of Bengal, located southeast of Sri Lanka, is expected to move across the coastal belt between Hambantota and Kalmune during the period from 5:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. tomorrow.
It moves west-northwestwards and reach the east coast. The sky will remain cloudy over most parts of the island due to this situation. Showers or thunder showers will occur at times in the northern, north central, eastern, over, central and southern provinces. The department states that showers or thunder showers will occur in other areas during the evening. Heavy rainfall above 100 millimeters is expected in some places in the eastern and over provinces. Other areas of the island may experience fairly heavy falls between 50 and 75 millimeters. The weather forecast indicates that strong winds between 50 and 60 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the eastern slopes of the central hills as well as in the northern, north central, northwestern and eastern provinces and the Hambantota, Gampaha, Colombo and Munaragala districts. The National Building Research Organization has issued landslide red warnings for 2 districts. These apply to the Udadumbara Divisional Secretariat Division in the Kandy district and the Nildandahinna and Valapane Divisional Secretariat Divisions in the Nuwara district. Fishermen and naval communities are requested to refrain from activities in the deep and shallow sea areas around the island from today until further notice. Those involved in naval and fishing activities are advised to remain vigilant regarding the announcements issued by the Department of Meteorology. Showers or thunder showers may occur in several places in the sea areas of the coast extending from Mannar to Galle via Kankesanture, Trincomalee, Pothuville and Hambantota. In other sea areas around the island, showers or thunder showers are expected in several places during the evening or night. Meanwhile, according to the forecast of the Meteorological Department, there is a possibility of high rainfall in river basins located within the Uva, Eastern, Central, North Central and Northern provinces. Consequently, the Irrigation Department states there is a risk of floods in river basins located in the Ampara, Batticaloa, Polonnaruwa, Anuradhapura, Trincomalee, Vavuniya and Jaffna districts. Residents living in low-lying areas of these river basins and near the rivers are requested to remain highly vigilant. The Somavatiya Sungavila road leading to the historic Somavatiya sacred site remains submerged. Vehicular movement has been suspended as the road is underwater by about 2 feet. 3 spill gates of the Ulhitiya Rath in the Mahavali reservoir have been reopened. 1 gate has been opened by 8 inches while the other 2 have been opened by 4 inches each, releasing 15 cubic meters of water per second. By early this morning, minor flooding has occurred in the Panama, Lahugala and Pothuville areas. Our correspondent stated that the opening of the spill gates of the Athimale tank caused this situation. Traffic was also hindered as the Panama-Pothuville road became submerged. 4 spill gates of the Rajangane reservoir have been opened.
Now, the Ministerial Advisory Working Committee on Security Affairs of the 10th Parliament met yesterday under the leadership of President Anura Kumara Dissanayake. It has been emphasized during the meeting that steps have been taken to provide positive solutions for problems forwarded by various parties regarding the release of lands in the north, opening of roads and maintaining schools. Discussions were also held pertaining to obstacles and steps to be taken in implementing these activities. Attention has also been focused regarding the steps to be taken providing solutions to problems of the fishing community and providing an opportunity to the public to use Trincomalee and the Sandy Bay beach stretch in the Manaya Valley area without without any obstruction. The President mentioned on this occasion that the Ministry of Fisheries, Aquatic and Ocean Resources has been instructed to conduct a feasibility study with the assistance of the Nara Institution regarding the soil erosion around Oluville Harbour and the manner in which the harbour can be put into use. Discussions were also held pertaining to the immediate action taken regarding welfare matters of the members of security sectors, directing increased number of personnel and United Nations peacekeeping forces and strengthening of the helicopter reserve. Ministers, deputy ministers, parliamentarians and a number of officials were present at this occasion.
Minister Bimal Ratnayaka says that the police has the powers to confirm any suspicious driver under the influence of liquor after directing him to a government doctor. The minister made this observation presenting facts in the parliament regarding new laws for the Transport Act for this purpose. Minister Bimal Ratnayaka said that the Speaker of the House, acknowledging that everyone accepts the gravity of assassination of Lasantha Wickrematunge and the attacks on the Sirisa media network. He stated that the current government is committed to putting forth its maximum effort to investigate these incidents involving the assassination of journalists and attacks on media institutions. He reminded the House that Lasantha Wickrematunge was assassinated in 2008. Over the past 17 years, several ministers from previous governments had repeatedly claimed they would apprehend the killers and those who aided them. Despite these assurances, the Speaker noted that the issue remains unresolved after nearly 2 decades.
Minister Dr. Anil Jayanta Fernando says that no decision has been taken to the effect of converting the funds of the Employees Provident Fund into the pension. Now, the minister added that certain persons are trying to propagate an inaccurate news in social media, quoting that a statement by Deputy Minister Mahinda Jayasinghe in the Parliament recently. Minister Dr. Anil Jayanta Fernando said that neither the President nor the government has made any decision or statement regarding converting funds in the Employees Provident Fund into pension. He emphasized that the government is committed to supporting employees and the public, aiming to provide them with more benefits rather than reducing them. The minister highlighted that during the recent economic crisis, the government provided unprecedented relief and benefits. He added concerns about potential changes to the EPF, clarifying that no such decision has been made by the government.
Health authorities point out that the risk of spreading dengue fever is higher this year compared to the period last year. It is due to the influence of the Ditwa cyclone and the existing rainy weather condition. To take immediate actions over this threat, a 3-day national program, A City Free of Garbage, Healthy Life, is now underway. 4,931 dengue cases were reported during January last year. However, 1,598 cases have already been reported just for the past 6 days. This dengue control 3-day national program has been jointly implemented by the Ministry of Public Administration, provincial councils and local government, Health Ministry, National Dengue Control Unit and the Environmental Safety Division of Sri Lanka Police. Ministries of Education, Defence and Environment are also contributing to this program at local government level.
The largest international exhibition, GEM Sri Lanka 2026, commenced in Colombo yesterday. Led by Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya and Minister Sunil Handunetti, this event was held yesterday.
The exhibition is being held for the 3rd time, marking Sri Lanka as a centre of world gems and jewellery sector. It is being organised by the Sri Lanka Gems and Jewellery Association. More than 2,000 mainstream buyers of 50 countries are participating in the exhibition, which consists of 110 international gems and jewellery exhibition stalls for 3 days. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya stated that the unique contribution being provided by the gems and jewellery sector to strengthen the economy of this country is appreciable. She also pointed out the importance of further safeguarding the fame worldwide for gems of Sri Lanka.
We have been engaged in the trade of precious gemstones for many, many centuries. Gemstones were used not only for commerce, but also in diplomacy and cultural representation. Each of these gemstones, each of the jewels, each of the beautiful pieces of jewelry crafted by our skilled jewelers, our craftsmen and women, and designed on our shows and carried across the world carries with it a story that starts with the discovery of this gem and ending up in a collection, perhaps of a royal family.
It is my privilege to welcome you to the third edition of the largest internationally recognized gem and jewelry show in Sri Lanka. From the source to the production to the selection, every stage reflects the integrity, skill, and vision of our industry. Gem Sri Lanka was created to showcase that commitment, setting the highest standards for excellence and authenticity in our trade. Over the years, Gem Sri Lanka has kept growing, expanding our reach, raising standards, increasing the number of exhibitors and buyers, and gaining wider international recognition.
Gemstones are the oldest export product of Sri Lanka. In fact, they form the pioneering platforms for Sri Lanka to build trade relations with the rest of the world. Gem Sri Lanka is continuing that mission, connecting the trade from all parts of Sri Lanka with the rest of the world. The trade from Ratnapura, Galle, Colombo, Beruala, and presented to the world. Particularly, we brought on the young talent. We are by now the largest presentation of fine colored gemstones in the whole of South Asia. 2026, thanks to this policy measure by the government, we are going to see massive flows of gemstones coming into Sri Lanka. And our boys and girls are extremely talented in cutting, polishing, and presenting to the world-class standards.
On this auspicious occasion of the inauguration of Gem Sri Lanka 2026, it is an honor for the CGJTA to unveil a masterpiece, the Sri Lankan Sapphire Legacy, a gem volume that captures the heart and the legacy of the world-renowned gems industry in Sri Lanka. This book brings together untold stories, archival photographs, archival historical photographs, and also the evolution of the esteemed trade from its humble origins to where it is now. Let us celebrate the hands that shaped us. Let us preserve the legacy that brought us to where we are today. Let us also be thankful for the craftsmanship that is behind this trade.
A special workshop aimed at the leadership qualities and human resource development of public officials was held today at the Water's Edge premises in Battaramulla. Organized by the Sri Lanka Institute of Development Administration, the workshop sought to create a more efficient and empathetic public service through modern human resource management. A notable feature of the session was the focus on private sector experiences and guidance from international organizations. The chief guest of the event was the Secretary to the Prime Minister, G.P. Sapatantri. The keynote address was delivered by Senior Professor of Management, Ajanta Dharmasiri. The event was attended by the Secretary to the Ministry of Public Administration, S. Aloka Bandara, along with secretaries from several other ministries and various distinguished guests.
We're here at the Water's Edge for a very important event now, the Sri Lanka Administrative Service intake of 2010, and everyone else who were belonging into that batch. He is organizing something absolutely fabulous to ensure a more efficient state service for the public of Sri Lanka. And with that note in mind, a public sector leadership forum being organized under the theme of Bridging the Gap for Public Sector Leadership for Inclusive Growth is what we are discussing here today. And with me today is Miss Anusha Batawalagamage, the Additional Director General, Learning and Development of SLEDA. Good evening to you, madam.
Good evening.
Now, what are we here to do? What do you mean when you say public sector leadership for inclusive growth, and what do you mean when you say you are trying to bridge the gap?
Yes, when it comes to that, the public sector service delivery, especially when it comes to citizen-centric government service, it is very important public sector leadership. In this scenario, that this 2010 batch, under their capacity building development program for the grade 1, we have that one specialized program that is this cross-sector leadership program. In that kind of program that we are doing webinars like this type of very high level policy forum. In this policy forum, as you asked very well, that I should say that bridging the gap between that the leadership. We are in the public sector and the private sector and other non-governmental organization. There are a lot of lessons that we can absorb, that we can get practicing, and that we can share knowledge. Still, that gap is there. With that policy forum, we expect to bridge in that gap, sharing knowledge among cross-sectoral leadership, including private sector, academia, as well as pracademia.
So we discussed the fact that you were the one who trained this particular batch, who are the stars of this evening's show. Now, what kind of leaders can we expect from this batch to join into state sector or grow within the state sector to be able to lead this country forward?
We need actually transformational leaders. In this type, it is necessary. The resilient as well as that who can take decisions at emergency, at in need. That I hope this batch that we concluded their capacity building program, which consists of 12 modules, including this important webinar practice module. You can see the way how they organize this event. This is not a small event, this is a massive event. They went out of the box and they organized this event, showing their leadership skills, how they can manage resource, how they can organize an event, how they can bring the cross-sectoral leadership on one stage.
Absolutely. That is Ms. Anusha Bhatwalagamage, the Additional Director General, Learning and Development of SLEDA. That was early today. Now, British High Commission says that the new trade package introduced by the British Business and Trade Department for the imports made by Sri Lanka will be effective from the 1st of January this year. In a communique, the High Commission states that the trade package has been introduced to simplify the imports made by developing countries. Accordingly, it is stated that Sri Lanka will have the opportunity to export many items into the United Kingdom free of trade tariffs.
The Colombo Stock Exchange ended today's trading positively. The all-share price index closed at 23,527.13 after rising by 233.28 points, which represents a 1% change. The S&P SL20 index closed at 6,458.03, up by 94.18 points and 1.48%. Total market capitalization at the close of trading stood at 8.377 trillion rupees. Market turnover for the day amounted to 12.328 billion rupees, with 65,116 shares traded. Welcome back. We move on to news overseas now. The UK Meteorological Department has warned that a storm Kaiti is currently moving towards the United Kingdom.
Forecasts indicate that this storm could also impact France. Several countries across the European region are also experiencing heavy snowfall and extreme cold weather conditions. Warnings for heavy showers and high winds have been issued for parts of England and Wales. Meteorological authorities state that Northern Ireland, England and Wales are expecting to be severely affected by Storm Kaiti. Forecasters are also being warning of significant travel disruptions due to the wreck of black ice forming in certain areas due to the heavy snowfall. Nearly 2,000 flights have been cancelled at Paris International Airport. Cricket news, sports news, and the cricket news is not looking too good. Pakistan won the first match of the Sri Lanka-Pakistan T20 cricket tournament, consisting of 3 matches by 6 wickets.
The match was played yesterday at the Dambulla International Cricket Stadium. Winning the toss, Pakistan team elected to field first. Accordingly, batting first, Sri Lanka could only score 128 runs, all out in 19.2 overs. Pakistani bowlers were successful in claiming the first 4 wickets of the Sri Lankan team within 38 runs. Top scorer of the Sri Lankan innings, Janit Lenegate, scored 40 runs. Charit Asalanka and Wanindu Hasaranga contributed with 18 runs each. In bowling, Salman Mirza and Abrar Ahmed captured 3 wickets each. In reply, Pakistan scored 129 runs, losing just 4 wickets in 16.4 overs and won the match. Sahibzada Farhan notched up a fine half-century, scoring 51 runs, while Saim Ayub made a contribution of 24 runs. In bowling for Sri Lanka, Mahesh Deekshana, Dushmantha Chamira, Wanindu Hasaranga and Dhananjaya De Silva claimed 1 wicket each. The crucial match of the tournament for both the teams will be played tomorrow at the same venue.
Oh, he's missed it completely. That no-look shot.
Well, that was a look at your news here at Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. I'm Siobhan Pereira. Together with Sharif Tahir, wish you a pleasant evening and a wonderful week ahead. Take care.
Good night.